Hello everyone and welcome back to Sade Crochets. For this tutorial we are going to be making a really pretty and girly frilly bikini bottom. And I want to just point out that this is what I'm working on for my members. It's a similar bikini. So if you are interested in my membership to get exclusive tutorials and other chats and stuff like that, you can check out the perks. It does start at 99 cents, and I'm actually going to get rid of some of the bigger tiers. We're just going to do like 99 cents to start off, and maybe one more tier. So anyway, yeah, I have to do my shameless plug for my membership. So just showing you what's coming up next. I'm not quite finished with this one, but we are almost finished with it. So check that out a little bit later. But back to this. This beautiful bikini is featuring the Moss Stitch, and so was the other one here. But this is the Moss Stitch, and it's a really easy stitch to make. It works up so fast, and I hope you enjoy. So let's dive right in. So for this tutorial, I'll be using a medium weight 4 yarn. I love this cotton because I love it. It's a medium weight 4 and it is the color white. And then I'm also going to be using an F hook, which is a 3.75 millimeter hook. So the first thing we want to do is, of course, make our slip knot. And then we're going to chain out our foundation chain. So size small, medium, and large, you will chain out 10 chains. 1X can chain out 12 chains, and 3X, 2X, and 3X, you can chain out 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then from here, we're going to be doing the Moss Stitch. It's a really easy stitch. It's single crochets, very beginner friendly. So what we're going to do is skip that first chain, and in the second chain we'll put 1 single crochet, and then we will chain 1, and we're going to skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to put a single crochet. So we'll chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to do that all the way across. Until we skip and hit our last stitch and put a single crochet into the last stitch. So from here, what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn. And in this very first stitch, we'll put 1 single crochet. And in the second stitch, which is a chain 1 space, okay, the chain 1 space, we're going to put another single crochet, and then we're going to chain 1, skip the single crochet, and in the chain 1 space we'll put another single crochet. So we're working pretty much into the chain 1 spaces. So skip the single crochet, and then single crochet in the chain 1 space. Chain 1, skip the single crochet, and chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space. And then the last stitch here, we're going to single crochet in that very last stitch, like that. All right, so this next row we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then from here we're going to kind of repeat row 1. So we're going to single crochet into the first stitch, chain 1, skip this single crochet, and then single crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip the single crochet, and single crochet into the chain 1 space. And we're doing that across. And then in your last stitch, your last 2 stitches, you should have a single crochet, 2 single crochets. So skip that first one and then single crochet into the last stitch. And we're just kind of repeating this pattern. So chain 1, turn, and we'll repeat row 2 again. So single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to single crochet into that chain 1 space. Chain 1, skip the single crochet, and single crochet into the chain 1 space. So we're just repeating that across. Skip that one, and then in the very last stitch is always a single crochet. So that's kind of how the pattern is looking like so far. And we're going to repeat between those 2 rows, we're going to repeat that pattern until, for size small, you're going to go until you have 12 rows completed. Medium also will do 12 rows. A large will do 14. A 1X will do 16. And 2X will do 18, and 3X will do 20 rows. So go ahead and repeat this pattern and I'll meet you there. Alright, so this is what it looks like so far. And I've completed 12 rows for size small. So now we're going to have a 4-row repeat. These are increasing rows, but every other row is going to increase. Okay, so next we're going to chain 1, and this is the first row of the repeat, and turn. So in this very first stitch, we're going to do an increase by putting 2 single crochets into the first stitch. Okay, so 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then we're going to chain 1 and skip 1. So we'll be skipping this single crochet here, and then we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, and in the middle we're just chaining 1, skipping the single crochet, and then single crochet into the next stitch until we get to the last stitch. So we're chaining 1, which covers this second to last single crochet, and then in the last single crochet we're going to put 2 single crochets in that last stitch, and that was the row 1 of the 4-row repeat. Okay, so from here now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and in the first stitch we are going to put 1 single crochet, and then we're going to chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet into that next chain 1 space. So skip that single crochet and single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip the single crochet, and single crochet in the chain 1 space, and we're just doing that across. And I have 2 stitches left, so chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet into the last stitch. And that's row 2 of the repeat. Row 3 of the repeat is going to be chain 1 and turn. And in this first stitch here, we're going to put 1 single crochet plus 1 chain 1. Okay, so we're chaining 1 here, so single crochet plus a chain 1. This is technically going to be an increase, even though it's not like 2 single crochets. That chain 1 space is an increase for us. So we're going to pretend that that chain 1 is on top of this single crochet, and then we're going to just single crochet into this chain 1 space that's right next to the first single crochet. So that's the only row that we're not like skipping a chain. So it's a chain, single crochet plus a chain 1, and then single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to go back to our regular deal by chaining 1, skipping the single crochet, and then single crocheting into the chain 1 space. And we're going to do that across until we have 1 stitch left. So we're skipping that one and then single crocheting into that chain one space there. And then we're going to chain one and single crochet into the last stitch. So that's row 3 of the repeat. And then the last row of the repeat is chain one and turn. And then we are going to, sorry, I got a whole bunch of yarn barf in my first. Okay, get it together. All right, so we chain one and turn, and then we're going to single crochet into the very first stitch. And the next stitch is a chain one space, so we're going to single crochet into that chain one space. And now we're going back along with our pattern. So chain one, skip the single crochet, and single crochet in the chain one space. And then when we get to the end, we have that chain one space in the end. I know it might be hard to see if you're like a super beginner, but it's not that hard. So we're chaining one, or we're single crocheting in that last chain one space, and then put a single crochet in the last stitch. So that is our repeat pattern, and this is on the front side. So we're going to repeat those 4 rows of increases until, so for size small, you're going to repeat until you finish row 39 total, starting from the beginning. A size medium, you're going to repeat until you have 43 rows. A large needs 47 rows. A 1X needs 51 rows. 2X needs 55 rows. And 3X needs 59 rows. So this kind of works up pretty fast because we're chaining one in between. So go ahead and repeat those rows of increases, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far once you get all of your rows done, and then we're just going to chain one and fasten off here. Now we're going to start on the back side. All right, so I am just going to reattach my yarn to the foundation chain. You can also use a magic knot if you want. I think I'm going to attach it to like the slip knot area so I can crochet over the tails. So I'm just gonna double knot it here. 1 and 2. So once you have that reattached yarn on there, we're going to find that space and pull up a loop. And in this first row, we'll chain one, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch across. And I'm going to put a knot for my foundation knot because I don't want it like reopening. So I'm going to pull it tight, and then I'm just going to knot it off one more time. That's just me. So once you get your tails how you like it, I did knot this tail over one from the slip knot just so that it doesn't get any more open than it is. So now I'm going to pull up a loop and chain one. So from here in this first stitch, I'm going to put a single crochet, and then I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch across. And this first one was tight. Let me get in there. Or the second one is tight. Okay. So we're just going to be putting 1 single crochet in every stitch across. Now, size small through large, you should have 9 single crochets in this row. 1X, you should have 11 single crochets in this row. and 2x and 3x, you should have 13 single crochets in this row. And the reason why I'm just doing a single crochet for one row here is because I wanted to crochet over these tails so that we don't have to weave them in later. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, I don't have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just gonna add one more here. 9. Sometimes it's funky when you're working on the foundation chain, so just make sure you have 9, 11, or 13 single crochets in this row to keep going. And then from here we'll chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to go back to our regular pattern by chain 1, skip the next stitch, and single crochet in the next. So we're doing that across. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. Okay, and now from there we're going to chain 1 and continue with our pattern. We'll single crochet in the first stitch, and then single crochet into that chain 1 space, and then chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. And single crochet in that last chain 1 space, and then single crochet in the last stitch. So that was kind of like the beginning here of this front side. So now we're going to start increasing again, and it is the same repeats that we did in the front, but I'll just go over them very quickly. So this is the first row of the repeat, so we'll chain 1 and turn. And then in the first stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and then we'll chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in the next stitch, and repeat our pattern in the middle. Chain 1, skip 1, and then when we get to this very last stitch, we will put 2 single crochets in that last stitch. Okay, so that's the first row of the repeat. Next, we will chain 1 and turn. We're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then chain 1. Skip the single crochet and single crochet in the chain 1 space, and we're just going to do that all the way across. And chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in that last stitch, and then we'll chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to single crochet in the first stitch. This is the third row of the repeat, and then chain 1. So that's technically our increase. And in this very next chain 1 space, we'll put a single crochet. So we're not skipping any stitches between that chain 1, that first chain 1 space and that next single crochet, but all the rest we will single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, and single crochet in that last chain 1 space, and then we'll chain 1 and single crochet in the very last single crochet. And then from here we're going to chain 1 and turn, and this is the last row of our repeat. So for the last row, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then single crochet in that next chain 1 space, and then we'll chain 1, skip 1 in the middle, and single crochet across. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. Don't y'all hate when you nick your work? Sometimes, like when I nick my work, I try to, oh man, that one's bad. I try to put the stitch over it. Anyway. And then when we get to that last chain 1 space, that was the increased chain 1, we'll single crochet in there, and then single crochet in the last stitch. So this repeat is just like the front side of the repeats of increases. So go ahead and repeat your increases, and we're going to go to the very same number that we went to in the front. So small, you'll increase until you have 39 rows. A medium will go until 43 rows of the back is complete. A large is going to do 47 rows, a 1X is going to do 51 rows, 2X will do 55 rows, and 3X will do 59 rows. So go ahead and repeat that, and I'll meet you. Alright, so this is what it looks like so far. I cut my little tails in the middle, but this is what it looks like so far. And yeah, so we're moving right along. So now let's go ahead and start on the border. So from here we're going to continue working with this working yarn. So chain 1, I already chained 1, and I'm just going to single crochet into this last stitch that we made, this corner stitch here. Single crochet. I'm going to work along the sides of rows here. So now I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then skip about 2 rows. It doesn't have to be perfect, and then single crochet in the side of the next row like that. Chain 2 and skip 2, or chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 2 rows and then single crochet in the next row. So that's all we're doing, is chaining 4, skip about 2 rows, and single crochet in the side of the next row. So we're going to do this all the way down the side of this bikini until we get to the corner. And you want to space it out so that your single crochet will end up in this next corner stitch. So if you have to like skip 3 instead of 2 a couple of times or whatever, just space it out so that it gets over here. So go ahead and continue down with your border, and I'll meet you at the corner. Alright, so I'm coming up on my next corner. Chain 4, skip 2. So I can already tell I'm going to have to skip 3 rows to get to that last corner stitch, or that next corner stitch. 1, 2, 3. Just make sure that you can single crochet into this corner. There we go. So once you make it to the corner, we're just going to continue working along the top there. So what you want to do is chain 4 again, skip 2 and skip 2, but when you skip 2, make sure that you're counting these chain 1 spaces. So skip 2 and then single crochet in the next stitch. Skip 2 and single crochet into the next stitch. And it really doesn't have to be like perfect. Just try to space them out so that they look decent. But yeah, go ahead and go around the entire perimeter. So that's all we're doing, is chaining 4 and skipping about 2 rows, making sure that a single crochet can hit this corner, the corner stitches. And we're going to go all the way around, and I'll meet you when we get to the beginning. All right, so I made my way all the way around and I just have one little loop left to do. Chain 4, and then I'm going to slip stitch into this very first single crochet like that. And so now from here I'm going to continue going for the second row of the border. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and single crochet into the first stitch and put one more single crochet there, and then we'll chain 3, and we're going to picot into that second single crochet there. So we're going to chain 3 and then put our hook into like the legs of the single crochet here, pull up a loop and slip stitch, and that's a picot. Then we're going to single crochet in the loop again and single crochet one more time, and then we're going to chain 3 and picot into this next, the same single crochet here like that, and that's our second picot. And then we're just going to single crochet one more time in there. So that's kind of what that looks like. And then from here we're going to slip stitch into this single crochet, and that's how we did our first little loop with 2 picots. So now we're going to single crochet, put 2 single crochets in the next one, chain 3 and picot, two more single crochets, 1 and 2, and picot, oops. So I'm going to insert my hook into that single crochet and slip stitch, and then one more single crochet in that loop, and then we're going to slip stitch into this single crochet here. All right, so that's how we are doing our border all the way down. We're gonna do 2 single crochets, a picot, a single crochet in the middle, and another single crochet with a picot, and then one more single crochet, and then a slip stitch. So that's how we're going to do our second row of our border all the way around, and I will meet. All right, so I made my way all the way around, and I did my last ooh, tangled up, did my last single crochet. Sorry guys. Okay, so I did my last single crochet of my second row of the border, and now all we're going to do is just slip stitch into the single crochet or the slip stitch from the beginning. So just slip stitch there, and then chain 1 and fasten off. And that's what it looks like now. It's a little bit ruffly, but not too much, just a little flare to the border there. So now we're going to do the straps, the ties, which is really easy. So we're going to take our new string. I'm going to put this aside for a minute. We're going to take our new string and start chaining out some chains here. So small, you're going to chain out 70, medium chains out 80, a large will chain out 90, 1X will chain out 100, 2X can do 110 chains, and a 3X can do 120 chains. So go ahead and chain that out. All right, so once you have your chain for your size, we're just going to grab one of the corners, doesn't matter which one. Just make sure you find that corner stitch there. So I'm just going to go kind of like into this single crochet-ish area, somewhere in there. It doesn't have to be super duper perfect, but we're going to pull up a loop and do a single crochet, and then we're just going to chain out what we just chained out. So 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, depending on your size. So go ahead and chain that out. All right, so once you chain out your second one, we're just going to cut and tie off. So that is our first corner, and we're just going to go ahead and repeat for the 3 remaining corners, and then we will be finished. So once you get all 4 corners finished with your ties, you are all the way done. And again, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget, if you would like to join my membership where I'm doing extra designs, and we're going to also start doing like some business discussions and everything like that. If you want to join my membership, it starts at 99 cents a month, and we will have exclusive patterns for you, or exclusive tutorials for you. The next tier up will have some free patterns, and we'll also be doing giveaways and just having a lot of fun and trying to support and help each other grow. So don't forget to check that out if you might be interested. Anyway, thank you all so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.